Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. The biggest is the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Then we're going to get into some NBA, some NHL, some U.S. Open golf that's coming up from Shinnecock, New York. We're going to cover the Brendan Sorsby saga that's almost done, the Men's College World Series that's wrapping up, and then we're going to get into a little bit of Major League Baseball, and we might even find out what chaps our asses today, Coach.
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah, we fired up, got something to say. No filters here, we don't play it safe. Hot takes fly, better brace for the blast. Welcome to that chapter. Let's go!
Welcome to the Chapped Podcast, a face for radio. Coming at you at 5 foot 10 inches above sea level, Coach, from Woodstock, Georgia, and the Stock. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Got back from New York. I'm thankful that I'm back. You know, it's kind of hard when you're on the road the whole time and you're living out of a hotel room. But it was nice to see family and friends, and I know you were busy this past weekend. So tell me about what you just did.
Oh my goodness, Coach. I'm glad you actually brought that up. This is out of production a little bit, but I've been coaching softball forever, as you know. I'm 16 years in, not quite as long as you. But we're doing our showcase softball right now, which is where the college coaches come and watch the kids play, check them out, and hopefully you get some offers extended. It's our second showcase. We have about 4 more to go before the season wraps up in mid-July. Yeah, but it was so amazing, man. All of my 2026s, my seniors, my graduating class of seniors, they've all got offers now, and they've all got multiple offers. 2 of my kids picked up 2 offers this weekend apiece. So I just want to shout out real quick to them in no particular order. But Ava Bearden committed to Rhodes. Perry Jeffers committed to RIT. Kate Dickinson.
Good for her.
Yeah, Kate Dickinson, a Warrior that's been with us for 4 years. Love them, love the family. And then lastly, Haley Elwood, who picked up a couple of offers this weekend as a pitcher as well. So shout out to those ladies and shout out to the EC Bullets Green team. Pat myself on my chest a little bit there. But it makes you proud when those ladies get offers, and that's what we're playing for in the end of the day, is to get them seen and to get them offered. So shout out to those ladies. I'm glad we got to bring that up first, honestly, Coach. So yeah. I appreciate that. But real quick,
RIT.
Before we oh really?
Yeah, both my parents graduated from RIT. So
go Tigers!
For going up there, man. That's where I was just at, actually. So.
And believe it or not, that was her dream school. So good job for Perry.
Really?
She's been with us for years, and she's she's my leadoff hitter. She actually scored 20 runs this weekend in 9 games. Yeah, leadoff hitter, stud. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so RIT, you're getting a good one. So is Rhodes with Ava B. So, but real quick, Coach, let's give a shout out to what we need. We need subscribers, right? We need people to follow us. We need people to like us. We need people to actually hit that subscribe button, and we need them to let everyone know, share with their friends, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, leave us a 5-star review, and then grab your best friend's phone and tell them and like them and grab our stuff on their socials as well. And you can find us on all our socials, as you know as well, at Chapped Podcast. That's CHAPPED, the letter A, podcast. I'm going to try to get through our website, Coach, which is Chap, CHAP, podcast, central.com. So if you want to give us a shout on the website, there's a place to leave donations even, Coach, as we're looking for sponsors, which we are excited to try to find some sponsors and keep moving this thing along. But we've got some great interviews, and unfortunately those were free interviews, so we need a little help to keep these things flowing and keep the lights on, so to speak. But tell me a little bit about how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Man, once I got home, my wife had the honeydew list out. So with the rain and the weather, we stayed inside. I had to paint a room, move some furniture around. I think we went to Goodwill a couple times and dropped stuff off. Went to the dump a couple times. So we had to clean up, stuff I've been putting off, and now it's summertime. Now, but then you dropped something on Facebook about when we did our old couple weeks ago, the vocabulary of Gen Alpha, right? Is that right? Gen Alpha?
The vernacular of the people you teach, the 2010 Gen Alphas.
That one dropped a couple of days ago, and it has been a hit. I've had more people contact me via Messenger and through Facebook with that one clip. It was pretty funny.
I love it. So as we would say, that was fire, Coach. Is that what we could say on that?
That was fire. That was lit.
That was lit, baby. There ain't no doubt about it. Thusly proving that these faces for radio got drip and we got Riz.
we got a little Riz going on.
We got a lot of Riz, baby. We got a lot of Riz. And I mean, just being honest, looking at you and looking at me, man, I feel like we actually may have to change the name of the show from Faces from Radio to Handsome Faces from Radio or whatever, Coach. But let's get back into the sports world, Coach. I know you've got a lot to talk about with the soccer. I've got a little bit to add into some of that, and I think it's a good time to get going. Tell me some stuff about the World Cup and where we're at.
You know, I think with with the American sports, winter sports still going on, FIFA kind of took a back seat until it finally happened, right?
Right.
And it's not just in the United States that's hosting the FIFA World Cup. It's basically all North America and part of Central America, right?
Right.
So we have teams, and we're gonna have pools that are being played out in Canada, and the United States, Mexico. I think Guatemala has someone, right?
Yes, sir.
So, these are things that when we're start talking about our sites, a lot of the teams that are going to be playing in those sites are going to stay there for a little while. Like here in Atlanta, I know Spain has a couple of matches here. We already had one that was kind of like an upset, even though it's called a draw when they tie.
Right.
But they're staying in Chattanooga and coming into Atlanta to play. So when you have that clientele stay at the home base of where they're going to be playing, like Scotland's up in Boston, right? We're going to talk about that a little bit. It kind of adds to it, right? So when we talk about the pools themselves, they're broken up where you have to play pool play, and the pool play then goes into the point system. So in each pool, you have 4 teams, and you get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw, and no points for anything if you don't score those. And then the top team from each pool will then go to bracket play. So, so like I was trying to say, like in the Atlanta, we have a lot of different teams that are going to be coming in here, but Spain will be here twice playing in Atlanta. I know Scotland is up in Boston, and that is a pretty cool thing. But each pool has different, like two common sites, so people don't have to travel from Atlanta all the way to Portland, or go all the way to Los Angeles to watch their team play. So it kind of makes it nice where you don't have to go so far.
Two quick things on that. First of all, I'm not wanting to correct you, but it's not in Guatemala; it's in Guadalajara. So I believe
Guadalajara. I meant that. Yeah, in Mexico.
I know how you are with names. Yes, I know how you are with names. So
I'm glad you are there to correct me.
Right. So, but I see these pools, and when I see these pools, it reminds me of the fantasy football or the fantasy baseball pools, where like you've got these pools. Some people care about their team. Some people don't care about their team. Mm-hmm. Some will advance and some won't. So some of these pools are almost like foregone conclusions, I believe, in some of them. I mean, you look at like in Argentina, they're advancing. Some of these teams or whatever. But that's a great description of how the rules work, Coach, because I told you before, I am not the expert on soccer. I played soccer as a kid, but it was a completely different game back in the day, obviously.
My family, my wife's family is big into football, soccer. They're from and her grandfather, my wife's grandfather was a referee for the English League.
Okay.
For a long time. So, they're big into watching it. I remember going over and visiting England and Scotland during one of the World Cups. And when they had Rooney and they had Gerrard and they had some good players in England, and I think they made it to like the semifinals, but it was a huge deal for that country to be part of that. And, same thing with like France and Spain. Those countries take a little more national pride to it. And, that's what I like about the World Cup. And we get to see different things and different kinds of sportsmanship, and almost to see like how we did the tarps off with that's been our running joke.
Right.
It came from soccer. And that those kinds of things our fans start to pick up on in other sports, which is kind of cool. And so maybe they'll pick up on some of the other things that we're going to talk about in a minute. But, big shout out to one player that probably the most world-renowned, Messi. He tied the most goals scored in World Cup, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he had a hat trick. So 3 goals last night. And he is now a top, I guess, you know this probably more than I do because you actually said is he tied or is he now in the solo lead?
I believe he's tied, and the next goal is going to put him in the all-time lead. I could be wrong on that, but again,
I think you're right.
But I believe that's how it is. So, but yeah, good for him. Good for Lionel Messi. I think that's really cool about him being able to do that. And just to tie a cool story in, Coach, on that, my sister is a soccer coach down in Alabama. Sarah, shout out to my older, or I say my older sister, my oldest sister. I'm the oldest, unfortunately, and everything. But she was able to go see Lionel Messi, her favorite player, check off a bucket list, and go see Messi play in Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn in a warm-up match. And she couldn't have been more excited about it, and gets to go back and tell her soccer team about seeing one of the greatest, probably going to end up being the greatest at his next goal of all time in World Cup history. And I believe he is the reigning World Cup champ. I would say
that. Yeah, Argentina is the World Cup.
Yeah, he's an Argentinian. So that's correct. So really cool there. Really cool stuff there. Yeah, and then even after Messi, you look at we've got Ronaldo. You've got Ronaldo. You've got, correct me if I'm wrong on some of these pronunciations. I'd love to hear you say them. But Mbappe, I believe, from France, is a striker. He's a heck of a goal scorer for the French team. And I believe there's another one, Haaland. It's Haaland. I think he's Swiss, but I could be wrong on that. I'd have to look that up for a second. But yeah, I believe he's a Swiss forward. But he's another big name. And soccer transitions continents. It's everywhere. It's in every portion of the world, and
not as big in the United States as it is in anywhere else. I mean, because really, truly, we're still behind the 8 ball on that one, where it is the most popular sport in the world. But our football is different than European football, right?
There's no doubt about it.
Right. But some of the cool things. So some of the cool
go up.
But some of the cool things that I've seen from the World Cup. Okay. Different countries do different things, and like we were talking about this in our production, is Japan, they actually go through and they actually clean up the stadium after the game is done. All their fans stay and they clean up the stadium, and I think that is fantastic. I love that tradition.
That is a great tradition, Coach. I'll be honest with you, and it's funny because who is the greatest soccer player in the world right now that we just spoke about?
Messi.
And guess what the Japanese fans are not?
They're not Messi at all.
They're not Messi. So kudos to the Japanese fans and those traditions, because there's nothing better than leaving a stadium better than you found it. I told you before, there's a couple stories that I'll tie into that, which is the Oklahoma team played a West Point team a few years ago, and it went into triple overtime in football, in American football, and it should not have gone into triple overtime. Our West Point Army was a really big underdog, and they went to triple overtime, and you would think that opposing team would destroy the locker room because they're so ticked off because they lost. They're obviously playing in Norman, Oklahoma, but they end up losing the game, and they show a picture of the locker room after the fact, and it is immaculate. It is the cleanest locker room you've ever seen in your life, which just shows you the respect that other teams have and certain programs have. And one other story that I'd just like to say about that is, I know we just spoke about my softball team. Anytime we go in a dugout, we coach, we play our game. They're 90 minutes, 80 minutes, whatever they are. We're drinking a lot of water. It's 90 degrees. You're playing a lot of hot ball. Kids don't always go out and throw their trash. They throw it on the ground, whatever, right? Little candy wrappers, throw it on the ground. Our rule is to always leave that dugout better than we found it. So we try to leave those dugouts spotless. So, people would say, well, dang, who was in this before? Because it looks way cleaner than it was whenever we saw it earlier today. So that's one thing that I try to impress upon our team as well, not just because of the Army tradition there, but just because it's the right thing to do. Leave it better than you found it. And that's the way we want to do everything in life, in my opinion. So, but I
had teams that did that in our locker rooms every time, and there are certain teams, like they would just leave it a mess sometimes and destroy it. But I always respected the coach and the team a whole lot more when I got a report from our custodian saying, "Man, that team took care of everything. They cleaned up everything. There was not one speck of dust left on that floor or in the locker room, and it was better than when they came in, because not every time you come into a locker room, it's clean. So It was cleaner than when they left. And I respect that. And I remember Matt Cates at Cherokee would always have his team clean up his locker room afterwards. So
mad respect to Coach Cates and his program. Then that says a lot about a program, and it says a lot about the kids in that program, because sometimes you suffer a tough loss, but you like I said, you want to destroy it, you want to sling bottles, you want to break things,
Absolutely.
and instead you clean it and you leave it better than you found it. And in life, if you could leave things better than you find them, I think the world would be a better place. We didn't really get to kind of talk about the USA soccer team yet either. I know that's it's early stages of it, but the USA soccer team won 4-1. I believe they've got a pretty good team. I don't know if they have a chance to get all the way. I don't know the odds on that. However, I do realize that the 4-1 victory is a big deal. Although since we've never won the World Cup, I don't believe, have we, as the USA? Right. I don't think we've had a good team since maybe 02, 92, somewhere in that range.
Our women, on the other hand, have been the more dominant of the two.
Sure. So I think it's awesome that the United States is winning, but it also reminds me of a guy going on a first date and spilling the drink on his girl that he's dating for the first time, and then being allowed to have a second date. Cherry Coke, cheers. But it does remind me of that. So it's like, all right, so we've got a shot. We've got a second date. Our second date's our next game. So good luck to the boys in red, white, and blue. And obviously we're pulling for our guys. But, time will tell on that. But let's just see how it goes. And I hope the United States rallies around this, because professional soccer is getting a lot bigger in the United States. And obviously youth soccer is huge. High school soccer is huge. And in this area, soccer is very big, especially in Cobb County and Cherokee County. I think you find a lot of really good programs out here.
We do.
Yes, sir.
So what I have my own little personal story that I loved about the World Cup so far, because we're about 5 days in now, 6 days in.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And we're starting to see things, and we brought up the Japanese bringing in their fans. What's the one thing that you thought was pretty cool?
Well, I'm going to tell you so far in the first few rounds, Coach, I don't know if you can see it, but in the first few rounds, I'm going to tell you the biggest winner of the World Cup right here is the Buc-ee's restaurant. The International World Cup fans are obsessed with Buc-ee's, as you can see what I'm reading. But it's just funny to me. We love Buc-ee's. Anytime we go to a softball event, the number one thing is to stop at Buc-ee's on the way home. We love their brisket sandwiches. We love their barbecue. We love their peanut butter. We love their chocolate. And you can buy housewares, homewares, and anything else, right? So I think right now,
restrooms.
Yeah, we always have impeccable restrooms, great help. We asked them one night, we stopped back from a basketball game a few years ago in the evening, and we stopped by, and I asked them how many employees they had on staff or whatever. And on staff, they had 70 employees at almost 11 o'clock at night, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, so they don't mess around. Good gas prices. Hey, Buc-ee's, there's a shout out for a sponsorship too if you want good news. But I would almost work for their brisket sandwiches and their peanut butter that's at the register, Coach. But I know you had a couple of funny stories too.
I do. I mean, I loved watching. I really loved watching the Scottish, because my father-in-law lives in Scotland, so we kind of follow him along. And honestly, I loved watching them sing their stuff and sing their songs about Scotland. And then they went to a Red Sox game, and they were all out there. Didn't really understand the rules, but they were singing and chanting like it was a soccer game. So maybe that will be brought into the baseball world. But the biggest thing I'm taking away from the Scottish is they like to drink beer, and and so I guess they're running out of beer in Boston,
I love
which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
like they have taken every beer off the shelf pretty much and drank it.
Stop and get us a six-pack, eh? I don't know. That was not a picture of them, but I love it. I love that.
I love that part about it all, and I think that also kind of brings in the spirit of, hey, having the World Cup, you're going to make some money, and it's either going to be at Buc-ee's or it's going to be beer. So, you got the two B's going.
That's right. Well, I did read one side note on that, and it's unfortunate for the Scottish soccer fans, but apparently they're not allowed to sit in the front row because of something that's not under their kilts. So they have to sit in the second row or further back.
Better not be a cold day out there.
Sorry, I threw that in on you. I didn't tell you I was throwing that.
No, you're
one
good. You're good.
Good for the Scottish. Good for the Scottish, and good for the World Cup. I know the ratings are going
to be. And they won their first match, so that was another thing. So even more spirit. They get to play another one in Boston area. So let them
That's
have
right.
at it, man. You know,
That's
like I
right.
said, they try to make a home for one of those teams for a couple of games, and sure enough, they're going to make the most of it.
Well, beer sales are excited in Boston. I know Sam Adams is probably rolling over in his grave with excitement because he can't wait to talk to a few of his buddies there. So let's go, Scotland, and let's go USA. And I mean, is there a favorite? Is there somebody that we're picking to win this? I'm gonna flip a coin.
You got to go Argentina. They're the reigning champions. They have the best player in the world.
Correct.
You know,
Okay.
I would take them. You know, there's tiers to it, and I really do believe that they're the top of the tier.
Okay.
But I mean, if you're talking about United States, they're in the top 10, top 11 teams in the nation. So if they can, when they get out of pool play, and hope they will,
right.
they can possibly make some damage and make some noise and keep that thunder and lightning going in the United States. Mexico, same thing. Brazil, you know, anyone that's around there that can make some noise that will bring fans in.
Okay.
So it's been great.
Well, I'd have to look at that pool again to kind of see the matchups. I don't know how they advance and whatnot, but I'll just flip a coin and go with Brazil.
Just enjoy it. Just you don't have to know the players. Just enjoy it. You know,
enjoy
the only thing I don't like about it is the flopping. We talked about that over and over. And they're too much flopping in soccer for my going good. Drives me nuts when I see them rolling around, and it's just like they barely got braze, and I want to need a yellow card or a red card thrown at someone. But you know,
they're writhing in pain, right? They're writhing in pain, and next thing you know, they jump up and they're like, "Okay, I'm better now. I don't need to replace. I'm good, coach. I'm good, coach. Thanks for the yellow card." Yeah.
So another thing that's going on in the United States right now is U.S. Open in soccer and in golf. I mean, so that's right. You know, it's not like the big names, but we're talking about part of the things that we're going to be talking about are what's happening. So this upcoming weekend, we have the U.S. Open. Everybody in the world that's ranked is in there. Chris Kirk from Etowah,
yes, sir,
is playing this week. But you know, we take a look, and we don't really bet, but the odds-on favorites, you know, the ones that you constantly see up on the leaderboard, pretty much are the same guys here.
Right.
You know, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Cameron Young. I think Cameron Young is the one that has been probably the hottest in the last month or so. And in golf, I believe that if you're hot and you get that mojo, that's half the battle. You know, you're going in there with confidence, and you feel like you're striking the ball or putting the ball better than anyone else. So, you know, if I had to put my money down on people, you know, Scotty Scheffler, Rory, those are the two easy ones. But if I had to go down, you know, in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 range, Cameron Young would be one of my picks. Xander, I love Xander. And I also really do like Bryson DeChambeau. So, you know, but that's because he drives the ball a long way. He's kind of exciting. Good personality too. So anyway.
Hell of a golf. Well, I'm going to listen again, golf is your thing. I'm not as good of a golfer as you are, and I'm not as into the golf, and I'm going to go with a long shot, and I'll take that 5,000 to 1 just because I'm not a gambler, and I'll take Brooks Koepka to do something crazy there and win it, since he's on the top 10 or so of the betting there. I'll take him. But, you know, Shinnecock, New York is where they're playing the U.S. Open, which is traditionally a super tough course. I do know about that part of it, but I hear it's such a tough course that the caddies are even scared to get out there. So it's not going to be an easy place to play. But I hope that it's a great event, and I know that's going to draw some eyes. It does kind of stink that it's competing with the World Cup. It's competing a little bit with the College World Series, which we'll talk about in a little while. And, you know, again, it's a great event as well. So if you have, I'm going to show my age. If you have TiVo it and record it, right, Coach? So which one will you be tuned into the most, do you think?
This weekend?
Yes, sir.
I probably will watch some of the U.S. Open because I always like the U.S. Open. If it depends on who's in the leaderboard, if there's really a bunch of no names, then But you know, if it's some of the big dogs, then yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. That's gonna be a hard one. I'm gonna be working some Braves games Friday, Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that a little bit later on, but looking a little scary right now for us. But
yes, sir.
if North Carolina, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on. If North Carolina makes it to the championship, I'm going to watch some North Carolina baseball.
Okay.
If World Cup is going on, I'll probably throw that on, you know. So there's a lot of things, a lot of choices. You know, people will say that this is kind of a dead period. Really, it's not this weekend. So I think this weekend you have a lot of things you could do. So,
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that. I will probably be tuned into Showcase Softball up in Dalton, Georgia for the next few days. We're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday getting after again, Coach. It never stops in June. I
actually had someone call me about your daughter. So that's a good thing.
Oh, fantastic. Good. Well, she got some looks too. She got some looks from some coaches this week that reached out to her. So I was very proud of her as well. We had a great we didn't have the greatest tournament as far as results. We lost in the semifinals by 1 run, which that's okay. That's part of it. But we played 9 grueling games at 90-degree heat for 90 straight minutes on every game. And that's a lot of ball. But, hey, you know what? That's what they want to do. That's how it works. And you got to enjoy the grind if you want to get into softball and if you want to college softball. But proud of my daughter, too. Thank you. Shout out to Cameron right there. But great job, girl. Keep working hard. Keep grinding and keep being the leader on the field and off the field.
So we're talking about 90-degree heat.
Right.
And we are just now finishing up our winter sports.
Right. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
It's crazy, right? So, you know, big shout out because I knew I was going to have to bring this up. So I'm going to bring it on up a couple times here.
But here we go.
New York Knicks, brother.
Oh, my gosh.
How about that?
Let's hear
about that. I am ecstatic about that. I mean, and it was in 5. I said 5. You tried to talk me out of it. I kind of said, okay, I'll go to 6 because you kind of sold me on it. But I really did believe 5 games was going to be it. And sure enough, 5 games is all it took. And talk about choke artists in San Antonio. Man, they had New York beat, and they couldn't close them out in either one of those games, 4 or 5. So, you know,
disappointing. I mean, you blow a 29-point lead, and then you score 30 points in the second half. I don't think you deserve to be an NBA champion. That's just my personal opinion. But, man, hats off to Coach Brown. Hats off to Jalen Brunson playing his tail off, and that entire team. What is it, OG Anunoby?
OG? Yeah, oh, my gosh. He was fantastic.
That tip-in was unbelievable. But I got one thing to bring up about that, and I don't know if we haven't even talked about this. I talked about this with my brother-in-law, Adam Tovar, and it's like if you watch that last inbound play, which, again, I get it. It's a futile attempt maybe. They don't get it to Wemby. That's not even where I'm going with this. But that last inbound attempt, Coach, the fans are literally elbow to elbow with the guy inbounding the ball. And I think the NBA, they should take a look at that. And that is unacceptable to me for a fan to be that close to any player at any time in any sport, unless the player wants them.
Yeah, I don't. And I know you pay for those seats, or really, you know.
Or do you?
And and if you're an MSG, you're not. You're getting those for free, but you have rules that you have to abide by. But, you know, you are on the court, right? And it's just like that in high school, though, and in college. Like if you're in Cameron Arena, you're right there, and the fans are like over your head, screaming at you, and you know that's part of the game of basketball, and that goes from any level if you really think about it.
Well, I won't. I'm not going to completely defend my Dukies and the Cameron Crazies there, but there is a small, about a 3-foot little wall right there. Yeah, but the Knicks guys are literally standing shoulder to shoulder with the guy while he's inbounding, talking smack to him. I just think,
that is okay. You're right. There needs to be some gap there. You're right, and not only that, but you're also looking at the safety of the player.
Absolutely, but it's the integrity of the play, and when the money's on the line in that play right there. That is a big deal to me. So, and I told my brother-in-law, I don't know if the fix was in on that play. Of course, I'm kidding. But it's like those referees need to take control right there and get them back, get them out of the way. That guy's got to be able to pump here. You know what I mean?
Now, here's the thing. If San Antonio player did come back and throw it and touch a player, then the play's dead again.
It probably would have been
technical. But, I mean, because it could have been like that means if I'm a San Antonio player, I know it's going to be, I'm going to whack them, you know, it's like, but
I'm going to be honest with you. I probably would have, I probably would have forced them.
But if I was a San Antonio fan, I could have done it the other way. You don't know who's who on that.
That's right. That's right. But what about our guy, Spike Lee?
How about our guy, Spike Lee?
Who's right there with him?
I love it. There's a big thing now. Go ahead and cue that up because it's there.
Okay.
There's a big thing about this with him is that the fans are calling for him to get a ring. He's been there for 41 years courtside and been the biggest fan. And he took a lot of heat for the Reggie Miller. He won't talk ever about Reggie Miller, the incident, because Reggie Miller, when they were playing Indiana, he started to try to goat him into being bad. And Reggie stepped up and stuck it to the Knicks. And he really, truly took that to heart. He will never talk about that. He feels awful about it. But he won't ever talk about that publicly to anyone because that's how bad he felt of how he let the New York Knicks down. Because he basically poked the giant. And if you notice, he didn't talk trash to any of the players this year. He kind of kept it where he was going to – I think he mentally noted that, saying, I will never, ever talk trash to try to ignite a fire, you know? So I hope he does get a ring, and I hope he gets a picture with the trophy. I think I did see one with him with the trophy. I know Ben Stiller got to go back and backstage and behind and have a picture with it. So that's pretty cool. And then, you know, the last winter sport we're going to talk about. You know, honestly,
hang on. I want to say that I am not a Knicks fan. I am not a transplant Yankee like yourself, but I would 100% get behind Spike Lee getting a ring for that because, as you stated, he's been courtside for a million years, the biggest fan out there. I don't remember Ben Stiller always being at those games. I remember Spike Lee back in the early 90s, like you're talking about that Reggie Miller game, which I watched on the 30 for 30 the other day, and it just pissed Reggie off, and Reggie went off. I think they were down by a ton of points in the first half, and he came back and just said, get on my back, and I'm going to show Spike Lee who the boss is. And unfortunately, like you said, Spike probably felt bad about that, but Spike Lee deserves a ring there. So I hope the rings do the rings. I hope the Knicks do the right thing and get him a ring.
I do too. And honestly, I hope for him, he's going to be able to get that ring and be part of the whole thing. And I know the parade's going to be coming, like the parade's coming on up, and I know he's going to be a big part of that. You know, and he made the NBA kind of cool in the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
You know, because he did the commercials for Michael Jordan. It must be the shoes. He made it an image that the NBA kind of carried it on in. And so he did a lot more for the game than people realize. And, you know, I'm a big Spike Lee fan. So shout out to Spike. Love you, my man. Hope you do follow us at one point or another. I love chatting with you that one time for about 30 minutes during a baseball game, and actually was on TV, which was kind of cool. But you know, he's a good dude, and I really respect him a lot.
But I mean, you're not going to find a bigger fan. I guess some of those there's a couple of those actors in Boston that are pretty big fans that are always at those games as well. But I'd say Spike Lee is probably the number one actor fan, in my opinion, of any sport that I can think of in recent memory. And kids, if you don't remember, go watch those Spike Lee commercials with Michael Jordan. And I'm not sure if Little Penny Hardaway, he had some with Little Penny Hardaway too. I'm not sure if that was his or not, but some of those Spike Lee commercials were great. Money, it must be the shoes. It must be the shoes.
It's the shoes. Must be the shoes.
So he did a heck of a job marketing the NBA as well. And obviously Jordan went along with that when he was one of the greatest players in the league at the time. So kudos to Spike Lee, kudos to the Knicks, kudos to Mike Brown, kudos to that organization, kudos to you, I reckon, for being a daggum Yankee and a Knick and all those things that go with that.
It was awesome to be up in New York during that time too. I mean, it really was. And
I can only imagine.
The fan base in New York really kind of picked it up, and you know, right off the bat, you see people wearing Knicks gear. So that was a pretty big thing for the state of New York as well, because really, truly, New York has not had a champion in pretty much in any sport in a long time, and the Knicks have been forever. I mean, I was 2 years old, so you know.
I thought it was 50-something years. I guess it was 72 years. My fault. I was thinking it was in the 50s years since they won, not in the 70s.
No.
Just kidding, Coach. But congratulations.
You're being a little cruel to me lately, but that's all right. I love it.
Listen, if anybody knows us, they know that I'm older than you. So any old joke makes me even an older joke. So that's okay. And, you know, I think my wife might even refer to me as an older joke sometimes. So it's all good, Coach. It's all good. But so congratulations to your guys. Congratulations. Enjoy that for another 360 days or so on that. And I'm happy for you. Yeah.
I mean, the draft comes up next week or so.
Right.
So, I mean, the NBA doesn't really ever shut off. I mean, if you think about the NBA, it's year round, because then you get the draft, and then you have the summer stuff that they've now taken to Vegas, and they televise all that. and then they have training camps and exhibitions. It feels like it's an endless cycle. So,
right. And as your guy Jay-Z always says, I'm joking, but as your guy Jay-Z always says, New York is a city that never sleeps, and I think he's right on that. And I bet you they haven't slept a minute since that championship, and I bet you there's a lot of jersey sales being sold right now for them. But good for the NBA, good for the Knicks, and I don't want to say anything else about a New York team until next season if I don't have to. So
we could talk about the South team that won a championship. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, let's do it. So now you're telling me we're going to go from the hardwood to the ice arena?
Ice, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, heck, it's June. It's 90 degrees out.
Yeah.
Why not a Carolina team win it, right?
That's right.
So congratulations to them.
Yeah, kudos to the Stanley Cup champions, the Carolina Hurricanes. And, Coach, I have to make an admission. I think you already know where I'm going with this, but I have been incorrectly stating that this was going to be their three-peat. So any hockey people that have been listening to us and not chastising me for that, I really want to say thank you. So Carrollton folks out there in Carrollton, Georgia, that didn't realize that I was calling them the three-peat champions of the NHL. Thank you very much for not recognizing that fact. And I apologize to the Carolina Hurricanes, but congratulations to them too. A very well-run organization. And I think that they're probably coming back for more here in the next couple of years. I don't think they're quite done.
No, that team was pretty solid. I mean, we all knew that they were probably going to win it this year.
Yeah, so, I don't know how many games they played versus how many if it was a 7-game series they would have played, but I feel like they played a very, very limited amount of games, which would help on injuries, help on your health, help on your energy, your stamina, whatnot. But what a great program. And again, I'm going to tell you that I would expect them to be right back in the hunt next year, probably with that Florida Panther team that I thought was the one playing. So again, kudos to Carolina, and kudos for those people not correcting me in Carrollton and otherwise.
By the way, I predicted both of them.
There you go.
Knicks and Carolina. So
congratulations. And you might get the College World Series right as well, Coach. So I mean, good for you. Good for you. Well,
I'm trying. I'm not betting on it. So if someone else hops on this coattail, then good for you.
They better say thank you, right? Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, again, throw me a tip somewhere,
That's right.
Give us a sponsorship.
Give us a sponsorship. Give us a follow, right? Give us a shout out at Chapped Podcast, a face for radio. Get on there. Love us and like us and leave us a 5-star review and ask for Coach's picks next time, and he'll let you know what's going on. Speaking of picks, and I'm making fun of this, speaking of not gambling or giving gambling picks, let's get into this sad saga that is Brendan Sorsby. Like, hello. Hey, Brendan, how are you? So apparently, I know we talked last week, and I said I thought they would have an injunction. I thought that he would not be allowed to play after the next injunction. Of course, Texas Tech was 100% behind him playing. And so now he's decided he's going to declare for the supplemental draft, which it's weird how the supplemental draft works, Coach, in the NFL, because in theory, there's not one. They generally do have the supplemental draft every year. He would probably be the highest rated player ever to come out of the supplemental draft. But, the good news is word on the street is with Sorsby is that he's confident that he's going to be drafted through the supplemental draft. And he's so confident. I mean, he's betting on himself. So I would just like to say, hey, Brendan Sorsby.
He's been paying a lot, so why not on yourself, right?
Right. He did it while he was at Indiana. He did it on his teammates in Indiana. And I think there's a big rule against that in the NFL that he cannot do that. So hopefully he's learned his lesson. And, we do say we believe in second chances. So, after 2,900 bets, we hope that 2,901 doesn't occur unless it's on another sport. But, if we do believe in second chances, truly, Coach, Brendan Sorsby is going to have that opportunity. They say he's a first-round talent in the NFL. I don't know that to be true, but
so what happens in the NFL with the picks?
Mm-hmm.
Every team has an opportunity, so it's not the worst team that's going to get them.
Right.
So everybody has a choice. Okay, let's say you're Atlanta Falcons and I'm the Miami Dolphins. Okay.
Yeah.
And I put him in, and I say, okay, I will give up next year's 3rd-round pick.
Right.
That means that if no one else goes above me, or I put a pick in, and I get him because I'm the earliest one that said I'll give up a 3rd round for him, that is the round I'd lose for next year, and that's how I would get that player. Is he worth it? You just don't know. You don't know where he's going to be, is the NFL going to lay some law down on him? You got to play that. You got to play that game. You got to play everything with it, and it's not a full out like benefit that you're going to get them. You might have to play that risk to get them. Like he might have to sit a full year or forever. They might ban him because you gambled on your own sport. You don't know what the NFL is going to lay down once he is drafted in. So and if he's doing it 90,000 times, he's addicted. So there's another thing you got to worry about.
$90,000 worth 2,900 times. I would definitely say he's got a little tick in him that likes to gamble. So, and as somebody who gambles a lot, I can appreciate that. And we don't advocate gambling on this show, Coach. But so what you just mentioned on how the supplemental draft works makes me think of free agent bidding in fantasy sports, right? I mean, you got $150. We call it FAB budget, free agent bidding budget. And so you put in your whole $150 or you put in $22. You put in $37, you put in $61, and the winner with the highest bid, or in this case, the highest round bid, is the team that's going to win him and secure him and have him on their team. But I feel like he's going to be a lightning rod. I feel like he's going to deal with a lot of different things. I mean, it sort of reminds me of the Michael Vick thing when he came out of the dogfighting issue, where everywhere you go, that's what you're going to hear from the opposing fans. And if you're not a Philly Eagle, you're going to hear that from the Philly fans. You're going to hear a lot of that from the New England fans up there. You're going to hear a lot of that from those Northeastern fans. They're going to get on you. So hopefully he goes somewhere where he has a chance to sort of rebuild his image. And I mean, again, if we believe in second chances truly, then we hope he does. I just think that to have a second chance, you also have to have contrition. You have to be contrite, and you have to recognize your mistakes, and you have to sort of own up on them and say, I'm not going to do it again. And you have to live by that creed until you're done with your sport, whatever that sport is. Let's just hope he doesn't get drafted or gets picked by Las Vegas. That'd be a bad thing. I didn't even think about that. That's great. That is awful, isn't it? That is too funny. Well, I mean, he was betting on Indiana games. I guess he could go there with Mendoza, and they could kind of buddy up and figure out how to do it out in Vegas. I think Vegas would be the end of him. Yeah. Oh, he's a 6-5 favorite to start this week. Oh, he'll take it. Bing. Bingo. But yeah. So, hey, good luck to the kid. Good luck to the organization lands him. Hopefully his rehabilitation works, but he does need to do some soul searching and realize. And again, admission is part of that reflection. I mean, contrition is part of that reflection. So hopefully he can figure some of that out. And, again, I don't want to beat that dead horse any longer. Let's get on to some positive stuff. Let's get into some college. How about some college baseball stuff? The College World Series is going on. You good with that, Coach? Yeah, I'm awesome with that. Yeah. Okay, let's get into some college baseball stuff. There's a couple big games going on this today. There's the elimination games, basically. West Virginia's playing North Carolina. Your pick again. You might go 3 for 3 on these picks. If West Virginia loses, they're eliminated. I believe North Carolina advances to the championship here. And then we have the Georgia Bulldogs, who I've picked, still fighting for their lives. They unfortunately lost a close game a couple days ago. But they have to go in and try to win their next game as well. Oklahoma twice, yeah. They have to beat Oklahoma twice. So Georgia has to beat Oklahoma twice, and West Virginia has to beat North Carolina twice. And those are no easy tasks there at all. So good luck to I guess all of those teams. I know we've got a kid we love, Jackson Rose is on that team from Etowah, pitching from North Carolina, doing very well. But that North Carolina team's hot. They've got a great coaching staff. They've been there, done that, and they know how to win. So kudos to them. But, my buddies would get mad at me. Dave Richards, shout out, would get really ticked at me. Chuck Jones, shout out, get really ticked at me for pulling for Georgia right here. So, but I'm pulling for the Georgia Bulldogs to make it to the championship. I'm pulling for the Georgia Bulldogs to win it just because I think it's a great feel-good story. And since we live in Georgia, it just seems like the right way to pull. But I don't have any issues with North Carolina other than basketball season. So, but one other thing we want to talk about that baseball thing is there's a really, 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 really cool story there, Coach. And let's go ahead and get into these the Branch brothers. What do you think? How about that? How about that? How about that as a family right there? They got 2 guys. They're going to be playing each other possibly 3 times in the College World Series at Omaha. I mean, that was a pretty tough script right there. And I know that they have 2 other brothers that are sitting right there and with them. So they have 4 boys there. And I saw the whole story on it. It was pretty cool. And, it's kind of
kind of a hard thing to root for when you know that one team, is going to advance and one team is not.
Right.
And but here's the thing. I saw an interview on the Fathers when I was watching the game on the Father. And he was like, Oklahoma wasn't even supposed to be
right.
Like, they were not. They were not supposed to be there at all.
That's
so, these are things that when we start talking about, being hot at the right time, Oklahoma's hot at the right time. New York Knicks got hot at the right time too.
Yes, sir.
In tournament time, you don't know where you stand until you start playing the games, and whoever catches fire is the one that's going to be there. Carolina was on fire. Even though they were on ice, they were on fire. Right?
I like that. I like that, Coach. I like it.
Yeah. So, Oklahoma right now is the hottest team. And they're the hardest team to beat. And if Georgia can get out of there, I think they have a really good shot to win the whole thing because they are being the hottest team at that time.
There's no doubt about it.
So
they went in and thumped your alma mater. I could not believe when I saw game one. I think it was 8 or 9-0. I was like, what the heck has just happened to Alabama? They just, like you said, get hot at the right time, finish strong at the right time, and good things will happen. And
they wore those camos.
That's right. Yeah. They don't like it. But maybe they work. Maybe everybody needs to go to camos. I don't know. But I think Georgia still has a fighting chance. Yeah, right. But I think Georgia still has a fighting chance in that. I know they have to win 2 big games, but if anybody can do that, I think this Bulldog team is built to do that. And I also need to make a correction. I said Coach Strickland last week incorrectly. That's their former coach when I was trying to give kudos, and it's Coach Wilson. So I want to make sure I correct that as well. So it's a day of correction and a day of self-observance for me, Coach, on a couple of things that I've misstated lately. I got the Carolina team wrong about the 3-peat, and also Coach Wilson wrong.
I get names wrong all the time, so
you just mispronounced them. I got the whole last name wrong from Strickland to Wilson. It's incorrect. So, but anyway, good luck to the Georgia Bulldogs. Good luck to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Good luck to the West Virginia Mountaineers, and good luck to the Oklahoma Sooners. And again, good luck to the Branch family. What an amazing story. Mom and dad are wearing jerseys that are sewn together. I don't know if you remember those license plates like we always see, sort of that mixed family, but they've got the Oklahoma jersey sewn to the Georgia jersey, which is pretty cool. And imagine the hoopla that they get, but also imagine the fact that there's a really, really strong chance that they're staying the entire tournament and watching one of their sons play for a national championship. Yes. That's
a big hotel, though.
That's a big hotel bill. But you know what? I would say some of the money they may recoup if they win it, as far as the kids with NIL and whatnot, or their professional contracts, they could probably afford that long term. So, but I know that I would pay that bill in a heartbeat if I could have 2 of my children play it in a potentially basically it's a 3-game series because they've already played. They're going to have to beat them twice at least. So I say good luck to both of them, but good luck to Colby, good luck to Kyle. Go Dogs. Unfortunately, I said that, guys. Don't hate me, but go Dogs there. And let's just see kind of how that shapes out.
All right. So let's keep talking about baseball for a little bit.
Okay. You want to head over?
Let's talk about the Braves. I mean, I told you I did not feel good about the Braves a week and a half ago.
Yes, sir.
And they're on that downward slide right now. They're 5-5 of the last 10.
Right.
They're not playing well. More injuries came into place. They lost Strider.
Right.
And honestly, with Strider, I think they need to just shut him down for the year and kind of rebuild it I just don't see this investment going well for us in Atlanta with him.
I'm worried about it big time.
I just don't see it happening.
For his health. I mean, he had the brace replacement surgery, which is not the full Tommy John, which that's a tough one to recover from. And I think it takes a minute as well, but he's already had TJ once. Then he got the internal brace in his elbow, which was to shorten it and not get Tommy John again. And now he's got another elbow injury, shelved for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And
longer.
Yeah. And, again, shout out to our guy, Dave. Dave, we're talking about you a little bit today, but Dave feeds us with a lot of information. But we've seen that over the last couple of years. But he's been talking about that, about the way he finishes his pitches versus the way even like Nolan Ryan, a flamethrower that pitched and never had arm issues for the most part for 100 years, the all-time leader in strikeouts, and the way he finishes versus the way Strider finishes and what it's going to do to his elbow on the torque there. So, but you throw 100 miles an hour over the top for a long time, you're probably in most cases going to have arm issues. Everybody's not Nolan Ryan, a superhero like that, but I hope Strider bounces back, but I just worry about his long-term prognosis. And honestly, I worry about his long-term prognosis for our Braves. in that scenario as well. So, we'll see what
We're
happens.
in the American League here. So right now, even with Judge going out for the Yankees, how about them? They're still sitting atop. They actually have been playing really good ball. But let's kind of talk about the Central a little bit, because our Braves went up there, and we were talking about Cleveland being the team. And lo and behold, the White Sox are not going away this year.
Wow.
Not going away. And, that's amazing to me. Like they were the laughing stock of the MLB last year, and now look at them.
Right.
So, you got to give props to the Chicago White Sox. They're starting to get some love from their fans. The fans are starting to show up, and that's a good thing for Chicago, because really, truly, the White Sox, they need some love. And I'm actually kind of rooting for them deep down, just because they're American League, and I like the dark horse. I love rooting for the dark horse, and I think that is the team this year that will be the dark horse.
Well, it's certainly a feel-good story. There's no doubt about it. But they're 5 games above 500. Who would have thunk it? And think of the money. Again, we don't advocate gambling, but think of the money you could have won on them being first place at this time of the year and being 5 games over 500. I know I wouldn't put $1 down on that wager right there. I don't care. Of course, first of all, I don't have $1, but second of all, I wouldn't put $1 down on that. But a stat that I heard the other day, they brought up Montgomery. I think it's Braden Montgomery. I think he's the 12th kid that they brought up this year with no major league experience, because they're just saying, you know what, let's just see where this takes us. Let's see what happens. And let's go ahead and get these young guys up instead of like one at a time, next year for this one, next year for that one. Let's bring them up and see what they got, and look at them. 5 games over 500.
If I've heard this too, even if they're in the playoff contention, I've heard that they're probably going to be sellers still. Then they're going to keep trying to build up that farm system to get that's what I've been hearing. So,
that's surprising. That's surprising. I'd say, when those windows are generally small and quick and they're not very lengthy, I'd say if you got a chance, go for it. And I understand that, I would 100% go for it. I'm hoping our Braves are going to go for it as well. But I think with Strider's injury, they're going to have to make some moves. So when we talk about the Braves, we talk about the National League, we talk about injuries. Is there anything trade-wise that you're hearing, that you're thinking, that you're seeing, anything on the ground that's telling you, hey, this could happen, this couldn't happen, as far as what the Braves might do?
I
got you.
I throw a coin up in the air. I would love to see they now, with Strider going down,
right,
and the uncertainty of Waldrop, the uncertainty of AJ Smith-Shawver, the uncertainty of Spencer Schmallenbach. I think they need to go out and get another arm. I mean, right now, I think they're starting to get a little taxed in the bullpen and on the pitching staff. They're getting tired. Yeah. And they're starting to show that, Martin, when your best pitcher the last 2 weeks has been Perez, that's a problem.
Right.
So, I mean, even Sales had some bad games.
Sure.
So,
he can't be perfect forever.
No, you're going to get roughed up a little bit. I mean, even Ohtani got a little roughed up.
Yes.
So, everyone's going to have a bad outing, but when they all are happening in line, and it was against some teams that you should not have had that happen against, like the Mets.
Right.
The Mets came out and were very aggressive against our pitchers. They were taking first pitch and swinging. Yeah. Bryce Elder is starting to be like Bryce Elder. What we're like, Grant Holmes. Oof. Yeah. Awful the last couple of games, and I love Grant. I think he's great, but they need some more rest, or they need to kind of get another arm in there. The bats have kind of gone to sleep as well. So, Acuna not being in the lineup. Again, I've already said this. People don't like him.
Don't say it.
But you need him in the lineup because he stretches that lineup out.
Okay.
So you need to have him.
Trade him. I was scared you're going to bring up the trade again.
I mean, honestly, right now, if he can't be on the field, get someone who can.
Right. Right. Well,
that's
good news is
that's the way I am.
Your guy Baldy is back. So Baldwin's back, and I saw he first came back. I think he hit a bomb. So good.
Yeah,
for him.
that one got delayed after 2 innings.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, once they finish it, it still counts. So he'll still get credit for it. So will your fantasy team, unfortunately. So I'm glad Baldwin's back, because that does help, but it doesn't pick up the Acuna slack, and it certainly doesn't pick up the pitching slack. And I heard a stat a couple of days ago when Holmes was pitching. Like they're thinking about maybe you brought this up to me about moving him to the pen, because once he gets to that second and third time through the rotation, the batting average goes up like 300 points against him. And he may need to get into that reliever role, but then that means you got to fill 2 starter slots.
Yeah, I mean, they put J.R. Ritchie back in the starting lineup,
who we both like.
Who
we both like, right?
I love him. I love him, but I mean, he's still young. So, we just got to hope that we make some moves. Or, I mean, I think we stretched it out as far as we can, but I think that Braves are really going to have to kind of make some moves. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're going to get better and better because their pitching is going to get healthy.
And they now have the best record in baseball.
They do. They do. And the Padres have hit that same kind of slump the Braves are hitting. They've kind of not been able to keep up. So, yeah, those are the kinds of things.
I have a couple crazy stats, though, that I want to talk about, and I did not realize one of them, but I know we talked about a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago about Tatis Jr. hitting his first home run after however many, 300 at-bats, 200 and something at-bats. He now has 2 home runs, I believe. But I did not realize that Vlad Guerrero only has 3 home runs. So you're talking about two legacy players from their fathers being superstars, Hall of Famers for at least one of them. And those guys have 5 home runs between them. I mean, like, who would have thunk it? That's a crazy stat to me. And the fact that San Diego is, I mean, I think they're 7, 8, 9 games out, but they're still playing good ball, but they're just up against the monster that is the Dodgers. So I kind of understand that. And I realize that Philly's kind of up and down right now. Their pitching's pretty solid, but I got to give kudos to your guy while we're talking about stats. Do you know who leads the major leagues in home runs?
Tell me.
Your man crush.
Schwarber,
baby. Schwarber. Yeah, Schwarber's at, I think, 25, 26 home runs. He hit another one the other night. I don't think he dropped to his knee on this one, but that dude continues to mash. So, you know, and I'm not a Philly guy, but I respect greatness, and he's a great ball player. And I mean, he's a life. He can't
play the field. He's never in the field anymore. So, after this upcoming year, he's going to be a utility player for anyone that drafts him in fantasy.
That's right.
So that is something that you got to worry about too, And then the other leader that we're going to talk about, I've become a quick fan. He's going to be pitching, I think Friday or Saturday for Milwaukee against the Braves, and that is little Ms. Magic. Okay?
That's right.
So he's on there if you want to put him up. Our boy, Ms. Magic, cranking out some serious speed. I mean, 105 miles per hour. That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
But they actually are giving him an extra day's rest, which is why he is pitching against Atlanta, because he wasn't supposed to. But he had a complete game, saw the minimum. He gave a 1 hit, but he got the minimum.
Yeah,
crazy stat, right? So if he's not the leader for the Cy Young, I don't know who is. So he's going to be fun to watch.
He kind of came out. I'm not going to say out of nowhere completely, because guys like us that study stats and watch the minors and watch the majors and watch these kids kind of come up and sort of know what they're doing, especially in the National League for us. But that dude just lets it rip. I mean, what is he throwing like probably 12 or 15 of the fastest pitches in the history of the game or something? I mean, something bizarre, crazy good.
Yeah, and we said this before. He's the first pitcher in modern era to throw 10 plus pitches in a game over 100 miles an hour.
Right.
So that's crazy.
So funny thing about that too is, I guess now, based on some of the information we've had from one of our favorite listeners, there's a way that they track those pitches now versus out of the hand versus closer to the gun. I'm sure there are different guns they're using in the old days when we were growing up and watching the 80s and 90s Braves, but there's something different about the hand. And I don't know if it's making it faster because they're tacking it out of the hand right when it's released versus when it's being closer to home plate, but it doesn't matter. You throw 103, 104, 105 miles an hour, you're getting after it, Coach.
You are.
He is a stud. He is a stud. So those are really,
again, what scares me about these young guys is that they're throwing so hard, they're going to have some serious injuries coming on. And so if I'm a GM, I'm not investing in big time pitchers. I'm just, I'm with the AA on this one. We got Sale at the cheap, We're not
Right.
spending a lot of money on him. Boston's still paying for him, you
Right.
know? So, this is a big thing that, when you're talking about pitching, you can't trust the pitcher. You could trust the fielder and the hitter because you
Right.
know that they're probably going to be on the field a lot more than the pitcher.
Right.
So, the ones that I always get a little worried about are the ones that are being overused or trying to get a little more speed. I know Garrett Cole from the Yankees came back and he hit 100 a couple of times this past week. But, really truly, you got to be careful about what you're doing to your arm and the velocity. So, does it in effect cause you to have a little more problem? We don't know.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that the more you throw, the harder you throw, the more arm problems you're going to have because your body's not made to do it.
It absolutely is not made to throw over. And that's why I think you see less arm problems in softball because your arm is made to throw this way versus this way. And you throw 100 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour for, you just say you throw 95 pitches a game. You're still throwing probably 50 pitches in warm up. You're still throwing about 5 to 10 pitches in between innings. So you're still putting about 150, 160 pitches. Now, not all at 100%, but then you put the stress of people on base and then having to overthrow or overspin or do those things. Yeah, the arm and the body's just not built for that. So, but I hope the kid stays healthy. I hope he continues his dominance. What team does he play for?
Milwaukee. You picked him.
Who's a Milwaukee guy? I'm a Milwaukee guy too. That's just my dark horse, coach. So they're 18 games over 500, I think, or something like that. So they're creeping up on almost 20 games over.
I think the hottest team right now. So
yeah, playing good ball. I think they're like 7-3 in their last 10, playing really good ball. I'm
in town for this week, so
yeah. I don't think they can beat the Dodgers with the current rotation, with their current team they have. I think we talked about this in production. They need to add a bat, maybe 2 bats. Maybe something in the bullpen, but I think that they've got it going on and they've got a really good coach and they've got a really good philosophy because they get on. You said Christian Yelich got healthy. I know that was one of your big keys on why the resurgence, but you get on base in front of those guys, they can bop and man, you can produce and they steal bases. So you walk this kid, he's on second in 3 pitches and now you got your Yelich's coming up. You've got these guys coming up and driving them in. So good for Milwaukee. I'm not a Milwaukee homer, but I do believe that Milwaukee's got a really good shot to go back and maybe make a deep playoff run. So kudos to those guys. But while we're on stats, I got one more thing that we have to talk about, and it's the Las Vegas baseball bandbox. Like playing in Las Vegas last weekend, they played 6 games in Vegas. The Athletics' new home team, the Oakland, Las Vegas, Sacramento Athletics. They have a lot of names, but the Athletics went 4-2. But the stats, I've got these stats, Coach. In a 6-game series, they played the Brewers, who we just previously mentioned. They also played the Rockies. 102 runs in 6 games between the two teams, 147 hits, 35 home runs, including 7 home runs of over 450 feet. Oh. Are you kidding me? Coach, we might be able to hit one out there.
I might be able to.
Maybe so. I mean, I think maybe we could actually hit one out over there. That would be actually something that we could try. But I would need a metal bat, an aluminum bat for sure. I know I couldn't do it with the wood.
Well, I mean, people always talk about Colorado, right? I mean, now they're going to be talking about Vegas. Vegas, baby.
Right.
Vegas, baby. We're going to Vegas. Pad those stats up.
So Colorado doesn't put up a ton of runs. They had, I think, one game where they put up 23 runs in one game, and they're one of the, we'll say, the worst hitting teams in the National League for sure when they're not at home. And to put up 23 runs in Las Vegas just tells you how thin that area is and how that ball flies. So, but I love those games. I don't mind seeing some of those games as long as my pitcher on my fantasy team is not the starter or the reliever in those games because that'll hurt you.
You got to make a note. You don't want Oakland pitchers or Colorado pitchers.
Note to self. That is a correction. That is a correction.
Stay away.
Or Las Vegas pitchers. But I believe –
load up on the hitters, but not the pitchers.
But I believe once the stadium's fixed, they will be playing – or fixed. Once the stadium is built, I think they're going to be playing indoors. Mm-hmm. So that could change a little. But I don't think with that at that level of altitude because that's kind of like the PCL. I believe that PCL always has higher totals, higher scores. Those guys have inflated home runs and RBIs and batting averages as they come into the league, and then they think they can still hit 30 and 40 and 50 home runs, and they dwindle down to 15 to 16 to 25 home runs on a great year. So Yeah, if that. And so it's a whole different ball game when you step out of Las Vegas or you step out of that West Coast area, step out of Colorado. So, but that was a pretty intriguing series, and I think it's kind of cool to see that. And most people, Meredith would love to go to a baseball game and see one team score 23 runs, especially if it was our team of the Braves. But and we could do that. I mean, with a full lineup, I'm sure we could do that as well. But I don't know that that's good for baseball, putting that up, and I can't imagine how that depletes your bullpen and your pitching staff for a series or for the next series or whatever, especially a team that's good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, so we're getting to the end.
Okay.
And here's one thing I'm going to bring up, and you don't hear about softball pitchers having a Tommy John surgery.
No, sir.
All right,
no.
So that kind of goes along with what I wanted you to finish up with. You never hear about a softball pitcher going through Tommy John.
No,
because it is a natural movement.
Right.
So,
they have a little more, and I have one on my team, and she's recovered. The one of the ladies that has gotten a couple of offers in the last couple of weeks. She's finally fully healthy, but labrum issues. You have some labrum issues and whatnot, but most of it is just going to be a little bit of soreness because, again, the arm's built to throw that way. It's just not to be able to throw overhand. So, no, we don't have a lot of arm problems at all. Knock on wood. But
and they also pitch how many more innings than a Major League Baseball pitcher does. I mean, we talk about the college girls. They had 300 innings pitched.
Yeah,
come on. So,
but a typical high school pitcher, if you will, playing travel ball. If you're playing in a 5-6 game tournament, they could throw 300 pitches in a weekend, maybe more. I've been before where we had 2 pitchers, and that's all we had. People were sick and people were hurt. And you're talking about back then we were younger, but pitchers throwing 180, 190 pitches because you play 7 games and you have 2 pitchers.
Absolutely.
And they're still able to finish it. They're still able to do those things because, again, I would think the lower half is the harder part on the softball pitcher because of the landing, the pushing, the thrusting, because the arm part is just a natural. Like we said, it's kind of a natural thing. So, but that's okay. Hey, listen, take care of your bodies in baseball, take care of your bodies in softball, take care of your bodies in all sports. That's kind of the key there. But let's get into something else, Coach. What's the name of this show?
Wow, this is where I was going to come into. I was about to bring it up.
Talk to me.
We're now into this whole thing. What is the thing where the name of the show is Chapped Ass?
Yes, sir.
So, what chapped your ass is so far? Like this past week, what chapped your ass?
Well, it's funny you asked that, Coach, because I have a couple of things for you. And I hope that my daughter is listening, Cameron. I hope my wife is listening. I hope my stepmother, Tony Green, is listening because she's the one that instilled this in me. Do you do your laundry, Coach? Who does the laundry at your house?
I do my own.
Okay, you do your own. Okay, well, I do the family's laundry. I'm terrible about putting it up. I wash it. I fold it. I do all those things. I don't like to put it up. That's the one thing I don't do, but I stack it. But when you take your clothes off, and you have a hoodie on and it's inside out, or you got one sleeve in, or you take your scrubs off and one leg's this way, or your jeans are this way, that chaps my ass. It is the hardest thing to do in laundry, man. It's like, can't you just take them off the right way? Take your socks off and leave them right side out so I can wash them properly. I do not like having to do that. So that really chaps my ass. And I hope my kids hear this, and I'm confident that Meredith will hear it and probably get a good laugh about it. But one other thing that actually chaps my ass, Coach, and I know this is sort of not off topic because we're a sports and humor podcast, but something that chaps my ass is they're starting to do a lot of these Monday night football games where they run 2 games in a night, right? I'm a fantasy guy. I want to watch my fantasy guy in the first game in his 3-hour game, and I want to watch my fantasy guys in the second 3-hour game. Why do we start a game at 7 and then we start a game at 8 and they overlap and compete against each other? That makes no sense to me. That chaps my ass.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta have 2 different services to get it.
Right. Unfortunately, yes. I saw Clay Travis went up there on Capitol Hill and was complaining about all the NFL having to do these different services of what you've got to do to be able to watch. He said if you wanted to watch every game, it would cost you like $550 a month to be able to watch all the different streaming sections, then your regular Fox, your regular CBS, and all these things. So, yeah. So I think we both agree that kind of chaps our ass too, right? Put them on the regular channels. That's what we want to see. Show your product to the people that want to see it. And that's poor people like us that want to be able to, they can't afford the courtside tickets at the Knicks.
Right. Exactly. So
what chaps your ass, Coach?
I was going to say my grass growing, but then I actually was thinking, as I was kind of listening to you, what chaps my ass is when I go on social media, right, and you have so many people who say they're loyal fans, but they're so negative toward their teams.
Right.
Like they always want to dig and try to get people to get pissed off at each other, and that's just not cool, and I don't like that at all. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's what chaps my ass. People that just try to dig and create and stir the pot. I hate people that stir the pot.
Yeah.
So
Negative
stir the pot.
Negative Nancy's to just be negative Nancy's, just to get a reaction. Of course, that's what we do sometimes, but not always. We want to kind of bring it to you and keep it real. That's what we want to do. Keep it real between the lines, which I think is what we do. But I would also, I've got a list of some folks, but I don't think that we always do. We try to, but let's get some shout outs, Coach. Like get maybe some new names, some new blood that you'd like to give some shout outs to that we haven't shouted out to, or if you want to give a shout out to somebody else that we always do, feel free.
Well, I saw Slade, one of my former students. He commented on the vocabulary one where we talked about sleigh, and I was like, I actually thought about Slade when I heard of sleigh. So
there you go.
There you go. So Slade, I know you commented on our stuff. I salute to Slade, man. And he whenever he goes to Braves games, he always texts me to see if I'm there. So, he goes to quite a bit of them. So, peace out to Slade and Eder, my guys, and really am thankful for their support.
Love it.
How about you? What do you got? I know you got a list, so I'm gonna let you go.
I don't have a super long list. I got to knock out some of my my softball ladies, which I want to give a shout out to as well. They always, every time we practice, they want to know how the podcast is going and different things like that. But as far as shout outs, man, my man JD Smooth, Mark Watley, he talks about doing his cardio in the morning. He recommended to everybody to do their cardio in the morning and listen to our show, which I can greatly appreciate. His cardio usually consists down in South Florida of a paddleboard and a little motivational speaking while he's listening to us. So shout out to you, White Dog. I appreciate it, Mark Watley. Dudley Bell down in Mississippi. He's been there since the beginning. He was one of the first people yesterday to like one of our reels and beat one of our other listeners, Mary Radcliffe. He beat her to the punch, and Mary Radcliffe was complaining to Meredith last night at dinner that Dudley beat her to the punch on liking one of our things. So shout out to Dudley in Mississippi. Anybody else in Mississippi that's listening, shout out to you guys. But also shout out to Aubrey Gott. She texted me yesterday. Obviously, Dave Portnoy. We're not quite as raunchy as Portnoy is, but Portnoy does a good job on his show, Big Frank and those guys. And I'm sorry, Big Frank's different show, but you know where I'm going with that. But Portnoy, she said what she was watching reminded her of us, which means she's actually watching our show, listening to our show. So former coworker, she's married now, but I know her as Aubrey Gott. So I want to give Aubrey Gott a shout out too. And just anybody else that's out there listening, man, we appreciate it. We need sponsorship. We're looking for sponsorship. If it seems like the right thing to do, give us an idea. If there's a business out there that you think it fits, restaurants, sports restaurants, game days. But we want all our subscribers to like us and subscribe to us. You see that button right there, Coach? We want them liking us. We want them subscribing, and we want them ringing the bell. Leave us a 5-star review, because that's how we're going to get bigger. That's how we're going to get better, and that's how we're going to get stronger. Follow us on all our socials at Chapped Podcast, CHAPPED, the letter A, podcast. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe to us. Follow us on all our socials. And also, when you get a chance, look at our website too. And you'll find that you'll find that on chappodcastcentral.com. I made it again, baby.
I'm happy for you, man. You did it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Coach. But again, as we wrap it up, I just want to also tell you, I don't get to tell you thanks enough. I know this is something that you enjoy doing, but I also know that it takes time up, and it takes time from Louise and your family and your many, many hats you wear on your different jobs, including your lawn that you have to cut all the time.
Oh, man, yeah.
But so thank you very much for all you do, Coach. And I can't wait to I think, what are we on now? Maybe 14?
14, 15?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to another 15, Coach.
All right.
Cheers to that, baby. Cheers to that.
Cheers. All right.
On the Chapped Podcast, I'm the host, Chap Green.
And I'm Coach.
And we out.
Yeah, yeah.